What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today. A little chit chat video. Gonna talk about where my own personal headspace has been lately with modern slash ultra modern sports cards, and this is almost kind of like a temperature check of where you all are in this. Are you feeling the same, different? I mean, let's be honest. The modern slash, we'll just call it modern, and I'm including ultra modern into that. The modern sports card collector, flipper, investor, whatever label you want to put on it, has really taken a beating recently. I mean, the vibes are just not great. I mean, let's just be real here. We have on the field stuff, Otani, injury. We have off the field stuff, Wander Franco. We have off the field stuff, this whole Panini Fanatics war. And you can kind of take that in any direction that you want, but just the fact that there are so many unknowns about, and say what you will about 2023 football class releases, whatever, there are so many variables and unknowns about what's going on with that product at this time. That just seems like not a good spot to be in. And I know personally, I mean, you could look back. Everything that I buy collectible wise, I show in a video at some point in time on the channel. Sometimes I'm a little bit late on it, depending on, if I only bought one thing and then it's a couple weeks. But all my mail day videos are there. You could see exactly what I have been purchasing slash not purchasing in the case of this. And really since the middle of summer, I would go to, I think it was the last Ship Shawana show, actually. And this is nothing against the show. This is just my own kind of mental space of where I was at. You kind of walk through a show, whether it's that one or my locals, whatever. And as I was walking up and down the aisles of these over the last few months, it kind of dawned on me that, I don't know, modern sports card wise, what card could be in someone's case that I just want to jump all over and slam the cash down and buy it now. Obviously, if something's a steal of a deal, that's a completely different story. But let's just assume things are, and I know that this is a big assumption, let's assume things are priced reasonably enough around eBay comps, present market day price, whatever. And to reinforce this, over the summer, leading up to the National, about a month or two before the National, I had the National coming up, and before that, I had Heroes Con, which was Charlotte Comic Con, about a month and a half before the National. And I had kind of budgeted a set amount of money kind of between those two shows. I could fluctuate it a little bit depending on what I sold in between and, this, that, the other thing. But generally speaking, I had set aside a few $1,000s to kind of tackle those two shows. And planning, going to Heroes Con, thinking about what I was looking for, so on and so forth, I just felt more, I guess enjoyment is the word that I am looking for, walking up and down those aisles, digging through long boxes of CGC slabs, filling in runs, chasing the Dark Phoenix saga, looking for key first appearances, decent deals on that stuff. So I ended up spending more money there than I kind of thought I was going to. What I initially thought would be kind of like a 50-50 split turned into more like a 70-30 split. So come around to the National, and once again, we talked about this leading up to the National. Hey, what are you looking for? What's your target list? Whatever. And I didn't really have anything particular in mind. All the stuff I had in mind was non-sports card related. I was specifically looking for cool Star Wars autos, Game of Thrones autos, like that sort of stuff. On-card autos in the non-sports market was one of the biggest things at the top of my list for the National. And once again, I go to the National, you're in a sea of modern sports cards. There's shiny things all over the place. And the only two shiny cards that I bought was one, a good deal, a Deshaun Watson Silver Prism. That might not be a good deal by next week, but as it currently stands, it was still a pretty good deal. And a Donovan Mitchell Blue Prism. I love my Cavs and I love my color match. And I thought that was a fairly solid deal for what those used to go for. So I snagged one of those. Everything else that I bought, I'm almost positive, I have to double check my Instagram. Everything else that I bought was non-sports card related, whether it was a single, an auto, a slab, a wax, whatever the case might be. And as I sit here and I kind of think back to my mail days and kind of where have I been, spending my money at in the collectible space, it's dominated by wax, comics, and non-sports cards. Marvel Masterpieces, that would obviously be in the non-sports card category. Now, some of that wax has been sports cards. There was obviously the Topps Chrome project. I bought some Bowman boxes, that sort of stuff, but wax that I have not ripped. Now, the Topps Chrome project, the whole point of that was to rip it, but you get what I mean. Like, I have a Topps Chrome jumbo box that I didn't open. I have some recent Bowman releases that I didn't open. That's all just kind of stashed behind me. In addition to Pokemon wax, some MTG wax, Lorcana booster boxes, all that sort of stuff. But my collectibles money has been going more into sports wax, TCG wax, comics, and non-sports cards. I've spent very little on actual ultra modern sports cards. Now, I've still been active. I've been doing those tops now, buying them, grading them, flipping them, some Ohtani stuff that I moved, you know what I mean? But I just haven't actively been buying a lot of already graded, I guess, modern to ultra modern sports cards. And I just don't know. I guess I just have modern fatigue right now. Part of it is I see stuff and it's like, one, it's either overpriced or I can't find exactly what I'm looking for, like at a show. Like I would be interested in probably some cool Darius Garland stuff. Oh, the other thing I've been buying is a lot of Manny Ramirez stuff, but that's the PC and that's not modern either. 90s refractor inserts and stuff like that is as far from modern as you could possibly get. But I guess I just don't know where my headspace is right now. I look at modern cards and I'm like, I mean, there's like 75 different versions of that card in this room. I could probably wait 3 months and it's just going to be like 30% cheaper. I guess I'll just buy it then. Or like I said, you find something and it's just so drastically overpriced or it's not even in reality. Like I said, I would look at like some cool Darius Garland stuff or whatever, or Evan Mobley on card autos if I could get the right price on something. But even that stuff, you just don't see a lot of, especially like at the local shows. You see a little bit more of it, but they put a premium on that stuff because it's local. So you rarely get good deals on local popular guys because they know they can move it to someone for full asking, if not over comps. But it just feels like the ultra modern space has just taken an absolute beating lately. And my mindset kind of got here. You notice the timeline on that. This is early summer into the middle summer. That was well before a lot of this stuff has happened. Now, there's always something. There's always going to be something going on. Some key player's always going to get hurt. A prospect's going to blow up. There's always going to be these things. But it just feels magnified right now. I don't know if it was just because we had these three big things kind of back to back to back. The Wander Franco thing is a massive deal. The amount of money that was spent on his cards is a lot. A lot of people got burned on that. A lot of people spent big money on Ohtani cards. Now, Ohtani, that's a different factor. Ohtani's not going to zero. There's going to be a correction. He's not going to zero. Where Wander Franco, there's a chance he just might actually go to zero. And then, like I said, this whole uncertainty with the NFLPA, Panini, Fanatics, and then also, like, we just don't know what's next. The whole Panini Fanatics war, as much, the sooner that gets settled, however it gets settled, at this point, I almost don't even care. The sooner that gets settled, I think the better off everything will be. There's so much variability and chaos in the modern space right now that it's really tough to be like, I'm all in, baby. And not even necessarily from a buying perspective, even from a collecting perspective. Say you're the biggest Tampa Bay Devil Rays fan in the world, or Rays, sorry, you put the money in the swear jar, and you had a really cool Wander Franco collection. Maybe it wasn't even like super expensive. Maybe you spent a couple $100 on it, but maybe to you that's a lot from like the collector aspect of this. And all of a sudden now you look at those and you probably don't even want to own them, or you're looking at them side-eyed, or you're like, ooh, or you want to shower after you look at them, whatever the case might be. That's just not a cool spot to be. And like I said, if you had Ohtani stuff, you're kind of like, ah, man, this sucks. Like the chances of him coming back to what he once was are slim to none, where he's a dominant starting pitcher and a massive hitter. Now, the hitting part's probably going to hang around. The question marks are all on the pitching side. And then, like I said, the uncertainty around this Panini Fanatics war feels like this looming cloud off in the distance. So we could see it. It's like mom and dad are fighting and we're upstairs. You know, the classic every 90s sitcom, 2000 sitcom, where mom and dad are downstairs fighting and the kids are at the top of the steps looking through the spindles down at mom and dad fighting. That's what the Panini Fanatics war kind of feels like. And like I said, it just brings a lot of uncertainty to the market. NFL product is an absolute disaster. Like, we know some stuff's coming, but we don't know what, who, when, or where, or how much. And then there's now everyone's kind of holding their breath for the NBA. And then if that domino falls or something else happens, or all of a sudden we have unlicensed product and no logos or players, just the whole thing's a disaster. It could be. It could be. It's heading that way. And I don't necessarily see an end in sight. Now, that being said, this afternoon something could happen, and I'm here recording a video talking about blah, 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 an XYZ thing has completely shaken everything up again. So I guess my question for you all now, 10 minutes into the video or whatever we are you boys and girls in the same space? Like, where is your headspace at? I know a lot of people in the comments are priority like, this is why I only do vintage, or I only do X, Y, or Z. And that's cool. You know, I get it. Boy, do I get it. And I don't know if this is like, you know, people talk about like the evolution of your collectible stages and the things that you kind of move through. I've always been one to kind of phase in and out of things. You know, over the years, you could probably notice that on the channel. I'll go on a little bit of a kick with Marvel cards, for example. I'll come out of that and then go into baseball cards. And then I'll kind of come out of that and go big into comic books. And then into TCG. And then back to basketball. And then back into Marvel cards. And I kind of slide in and out of these things. I'm active in all of them at all times. But every once in a while, something will kind of move to the forefront and then kind of slide to the back, and something else will slide in there. So I don't know if this is just kind of a natural one of those phases for me, and maybe it's just hitting a little harder because I've been kind of meh on modern stuff leading up to all this other chaos happening here as we move into the late summer, early football season. And that's the other thing. You know, football season's about to start. Guess what? Some of these quarterback prices are going to crash. I don't know which ones. I have no idea. Some are going to go up, but a decent amount of them are probably going to come way down. A lot of these prices are way overinflated on these guys, and the market's just not there to sustain all of it. We always talk about expectations meet reality on these guys, and then all of a sudden, those prices are going to be tanking, or someone's going to catch a huge injury. It's football. Someone is going to get hurt. What if, you know, insert top tier, super expensive quarterback here, there's a lot of them out there, gets a knee tore up, an ankle tore up, out for half the season. Now we have that on top of all this other stuff. And like I said, maybe this is just a phase, and maybe it's just a particularly bad phase. And I think it's just amplified because of the Panini Fanatics stuff. You know, every day is, you know, this breaker scammed this, or this person dipped this, or, you know, this, that, or the other thing. It's just, it's a rough space these days. Now, I'm not retiring from Ultra Modern or anything crazy like that, but I am definitely in a off cycle when it comes to modern sports card collecting, investing, flipping, whatever you want to call it. I am definitely in a little bit of a funk, I guess, right now with that stuff. And like I said, I'm curious, are you boys and girls feeling the same way? You know, how many hits, how many times can we get punched in the face before we're like, I'm just not going to get in the ring. I'm going to go over to this other ring. They're having fun over there. Look at all those Marvel guys. They're opening all those cool Marvel Masterpiece boxes. They're having fun. I'm over here ripping Topps Chrome, getting punched in the face left and right. Oh, sweet. I hit a Monster Wander Franco card. Oh, wait, he did what? I have to burn this card now? Ah, you kidding me? Well, at least I pulled this great Otani. Oh, he tore his... Oh, maybe Tommy John, we're not sure. You kidding me? Really? Well, that's all right. Football season's coming. I'm excited to chase this hot rookie class, get some CJ Stroud auto. Wait, none of the top quarterbacks have autographs and products? Why? Because, oh, mom and dad are fighting, so we get punished. We don't get to go to Chuck E. Cheese because mom and dad fought. All right, cool. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like right now. As always, this is kind of me taking the temperature of the room, kind of seeing where you all are at with this. But those are just my thoughts. That's where I'm at right now. We will catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.